This is a brilliant uncirculated 50 centavos coin from the nation of Mexico. It was minted in 1935 with strong silver content, and if you're looking at the depressions in the design while watching, you may see echoes of the Great Depression as well as the soon-to-be dark times in global conflict. So join me today as we dive down on this fantastic coin and learn about what this coin tells us about the world. Before we get to this fantastic coin, we need to do a short dive into the history of the time so that we can properly assess its value. This is a coin that, yes, is minted on behalf of Mexico, but it should be known that the demand was so high for this particular coin that Mexico could not meet the demand, and many of these were therefore minted in America. In fact, my research indicates only 10.8 million were minted in Mexico City, while 25 million were minted in Philadelphia, 17 million were minted in Denver, and the remaining 18 million minted in San Francisco, all with the standard M mint mark. So what was going on in Mexico and the world at this time? The Great Depression had a firm grip on much of the world. Just like in America, labor strikes were in full force and small violent conflicts were present, such as the 1935 Revolution Day Zocalo battle. President Herbert Hoover of the United States had signed the Repatriation Act that sent foreigners like Mexicans back to their home country to free up jobs for Americans as they were blamed for living off public welfare. This sent back an estimated 250,000 to 2 million individuals to Mexico, further destabilizing the Mexican economy. Mexico around this time had nationalized its rail and petroleum industries, which many say helped smooth out the swings of supply and demand, helping with stabilizing the economy. Around the world in 1935, we had Amelia Earhart fly from Hawaii to California in a solo flight, and the board game Monopoly was sold for the first time in the United States. The Hoover Dam was dedicated by FDR, as well as the Social Security Act, which many of you love, signed into law. It should be of note that Elvis was also born this year. In Europe, whispers of future terror echoed. In Germany, as Hitler violated the 1919 Treaty of Versailles, reinstating the Luftwaffe, or German Air Force, rearming the military, and revoking the citizenship for Jews. He also signed off on eugenics while the world did nothing. This was 3 years before the American Time magazine named Hitler the Man of the Year. There was one good thing I did find that happened in Europe in this year, and that was the birth of Luciano Pavarotti, the amazing tenor. In Asia, northern China was invaded by Imperial Japan, and Mao worked to stave off invasion by creating a manifesto of defending against Imperial Japan. As you can see, these times were moving closer and closer to conflict on the global scale. We know it as World War II, which would happen 6 years later. Now that you understand the world in which this coin was struck, we can get to the coin itself as we place it on our 60-point scale to see if it's right for you. When we look at the obverse, we see what I believe to be the best depiction of an eagle and snake on any Mexican coin that I can remember. The outstretched wings balance the bird as it grapples with the snake on one foot and beak while holding on to a cactus with the other foot. We see the Estados Unidos Mexicanos, or United Mexican States, and the wreath of laurel and oak. Laurel symbolizing victory, and oak usually for wisdom or rescuing others in battle. What a beautiful obverse, and I scored a perfect 10. When we move to the reverse, we are met with an amazing scene. We have a continuation of the laurel and oak branches, but this time they climb up 3/4 of the face, leading your eye to the radiance of the Phrygian cap, which is the same cap that we use for the winged liberty or Mercury dime. This has been a symbol of liberty for generations, and on this cap we see the word libertad. Liberty is one of the pillars of freedom going all the way back to Plato's allegory of the cave. We also see the 50 centavos, and in between the 5 and 0 is the mint mark M. Even the numbers 5 and 0 have texture. This is a fantastic design, and I scored a 9. Mintage is our next category, and as stated before, this coin was in such high demand that mints in the U.S. were contracted to strike it. The numbers totaled over 70 million, so that is an unfortunate 1 out of 10. Luckily, cultural significance is next, With a developing national seal on one side and the Libertad, which is a pillar principle of this growing Mexican nation, there is really no other way to score this than a perfect 10. It screams Mexican coin. Now we assess collectability. This is one of those coins that floats into many markets successfully. It is high mintage, and it means it is attainable by many. I purchased this coin, for example, from APMEX for around $15. It has just over 40% silver content and is a fantastic coin for numismatists, stackers, Mexican history lovers, and really history lovers in general. This being said, it is absolutely collectible, and I scored a 10. Our last area is uniqueness. This is a fantastic coin, as we've seen, but is it entirely unique? I find that this coin is highly identifiable in essence of the obverse with the eagle. The reverse, however, is a little less so. Many Latin American countries adopted the Phrygian cap in their designs, which honestly I love, but it does deduct just a hair when it comes to uniqueness. I scored a 7, bringing us to our final thoughts and score. This coin crosses the line at 47 out of 60, which is remarkable seeing as it scored a 1 for mintage. This being said, this is a coin that is both beautiful and bold. We should note that it does have silver content as value, but it has such historic value that should also be calculated in as well. This may be a little bit outside the box, but I actually enjoy this coin more than the standard Libertad. Maybe it's because of the history, maybe it's the design, maybe the fantastic quality, but anyway, you look at it, this is a coin for all people. Thank you for watching, and as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.